Welcome to this webinar. Advantech has launched a full range of enclosures designed for the many embedded boards that we have in our portfolio. My name is Jay Shu and I am the European Product Sales Manager for our industrial motherboards. In this video, I would like to introduce our enclosure solutions for our mini ITX boards. Now it becomes really easy to tailor a system with our off-the-shelf mini ITX boards, and it gives you access to a custom off-the-shelf solution that can fit your requirements. For starters, we have the following form factors within industrial motherboards. We have mini ITX, micro ATX, and UTX. And we can segment these into a mobile CPU platform or a desktop CPU platform. In mobile CPU, we have BGA type mini ITX boards as well as UTX. UTX is a half-size board compared to mini ITX, but it keeps 80% of its features. The key selling points for these boards are low TDP, extended temperature range, fanless, and thin I/O coastline. For desktop CPU, we have both mini ITX as well as micro ATX. These are socket type boards, focusing more on the high performance and the capability for expansion. For UTX, we have a dedicated enclosure. It is fanless, wide temp solution, and it makes this solution extremely suitable for harsh environments. On top of that, we have done RF and carrier certification on the UTX, so this becomes also very suitable for an IoT gateway type of solution. For micro ATX, most of our customers will have their own custom designed enclosure. These customers are mainly medical, ATM, and doing measurements instrumentations. And they have special feature requirements. So we don't have a standard off-the-shelf solution for micro ATX at this moment, but we can do design in service. If we look at mini ITX, the mid-range of this slide, we can see that we have EPC-T 1000 and EPC-B 1000. These two enclosures are designed for our mobile CPU platforms. And the EPC-T 2000 is for a desktop CPU platform, also for mini ITX. The EPC-B 2000 is suitable for all our mini ITX boards, and it has the option to have a PCI Express expansion. As an example, what the benefits are for these enclosure solutions, I will focus the next slides on EPC-T 1000 and on EPC-B 2000. And each of these enclosures will have clear benefits compared to the other. First off, EPC-T 1000. It's for the thin enclosure series within the mini ITX motherboard range. If we look at design, it's quite straightforward. It's simple but efficient, the mechanical design. It's easy to release both the top cover as well as the bottom cover. The top cover, if you remove that, you can access memory and HDD. When you release the bottom cover, you can access the mini PCI Express for the wireless cards or expansion cards. On the base, one-piece U-frame and a fan holder with interchangeable I/O bracket is available. And with this simple mechanical structure, you can imagine how beneficial the cost structure is. So you can really take the advantage of local assembly to do either pre-configured or a complete custom solution based on your own needs. Due to the thin coastline on the newer mini ITX boards, that is a trend that we see. A lot of the connectors that you normally find on a mini ITX boards are not on a coastline anymore, but on the board itself. So it becomes more difficult for a system integrator to find a fitting enclosure for these thin coastline mini ITX boards. So it means you need to either design an enclosure from scratch, or you can take our off-the-shelf solution. The EPC-T1000 takes advantage of these thin coastline mini ITX board designs. So the enclosure itself is only 43 millimeter high, so you can use it as a 1U system, and it can accommodate a 40 millimeter fan. You have excellent expansion capabilities, so on top of what you can find on a motherboard coastline, you can add another 6 COM ports and USB expansions for camera, keypad, card reader, coin collector, and so forth that you can find on, for instance, a kiosk type of application. You have 4 antenna connectors, so you can add up to 2 mini PCI expansion slots, and you can have wireless communication added to the system. For instance, Wi-Fi, 3G, 4G, Bluetooth, and so forth. It can accommodate the different motherboards that we have in our portfolio. So with each board, you can have different unique selling points on a coastline and expand the IOs that you can find on board. For instance, you can pick a board with excellent graphic performance. If we use the EPC-T1215 as an example, it is based on our Bay Trail mini ITX boards, the AMB215, inside the EPC-T1000 enclosure. From the application scenarios, we can highlight a couple of things. First of all, as mentioned, the EPC-T1000, it's only 43 millimeter thick. It's 250 millimeter wide and 210 millimeter deep, so it's really quite small, and you can use it as a 1U system. You'll have a lot of IO expansion capability, and it's easy to integrate and to design in. It can be a fanless system without the need of any expensive fanless thermal solution. So it's a compact design with rich IO with a Bay Trail board suitable for various vertical markets. So together with the thickness of this Bay Trail board, you can have a solution with excellent display capability, and you can use it, for instance, for flight information or a digital signage solution. If you take use of the rich IO expansion capability, you can market this solution for kiosk, vending, ATM, or even an audio mixing solution. The fanless system makes this solution excellent for application environment where the noise requirement is essential. So the EPC-T1000, you can have 2 different kinds of SKU. Either you can have a solution with a system fan inside, a 40 millimeter fan, or you can have it fanless. The only main requirements is the operating temperature. So depending on the type of operating temperature that your solution needs to operate on, you can decide if this solution should be fanless or should be with a fan. We have a couple of mounting kits available for the EPC-T1000. You can have it wall mounted, VESA mounted, DIN rail, or even a rack mount solution. So it's quite flexible. So one system suitable for different markets and applications. The EPC-B2000, it's are stable in terms of scalability. This enclosure can fit all our mini ITX boards, and to make it simple, there are 2 main SKUs. You can either have the enclosure with ATX power inside, or without ATX power supply, but using the DC to DC power connector that you find on board on some of our mini ITX boards. Both SKUs on top of the IOs that you can find on a coastline, and on top of the onboard IOs, you can still add a low profile add-on card. That is a a main differentiator compared to the EPC-T 1000, for example. In terms of mounting, because of the size, it's slightly bigger, we offer wall mount kits. If we look at the compelling features for our EPC series, for our mini ITX boards, there are a couple of main unique selling points why you should go for this type of solution. First of all, it's an economic chassis because of the structure design, while still being quite flexible for all our mini ITX boards, even the thin coastline ones. The mechanical design is optimized for our boards, and you still have a rich I/O, the flexibility to do some customization on that part. We have on our board enclosure also LED lights to indicate the system status. We have done anti-vibration and shock vibration tests on these enclosures. We also have done ESD tests on these systems, and we have certified them. So if you take one of these EPC systems together with our mini ITX boards, you'll have a certified solution. To give you an example of where we have been successful with these solution, there's one case where we have sold this EPC B2000 with our AMB 274, but it was a complete custom solution because for this solution, it was an ATM solution. We needed to expand up to 12 USBs, which was not possible based on our standard board and standard enclosure. But we made it happen. We added 12 USBs for all the peripherals that you can find inside this ATM solution. For example, a receipt printer, keyboard, pad, a cash dispenser, card reader, camera, and also a USB reserved for maintenance. If we take the EPC B2000 again and accommodate it with the AMB 226, the AMB 226 is an AMD Bald Eagle platform, and you can drive 4 independent 4K content if it's still images, and for video it can be 4 independent full HD content. So with this combination you can have a cost-effective signage solution or a solution, for example, for the gaming industry. Well, this was just a peek into Advantech's embedded PC solutions, and Advantech EPC will be available for all our board type solutions, so you can have a cost-effective off-the-shelf enclosure together with our embedded boards. For future inquiries, please contact your local sales contact, and I thank you for your attention.